Hello. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us. We appreciate all the time that you do spend with us. We're in the lab today, the home studio, and we're fine tuning some equipment and some new things that we have to help make our life easier, make a better workflow. And right after the message from our sponsor, DNKS Legacy Productions, we'll get right into it. All right, so what we're going to do now. Oh, no. Okay, so we're in the lab, the home studio, and we're putting some things together. Not necessarily new things, things that I've had for a while, but have not actually been using a lot. But I've found um, that these things well, the reason I got them is because they're actually will make my workflow a little easier, a little better, depending on the things that we're doing, the things that we're doing on our mobile shoots. So I decided to that I needed to get into the studio and make sure that these things are working correctly. And let me show you what we're doing. I'm going to take the banners off and switch to this view. The reason I switched views is because this is one of the things I'm experimenting with, not necessarily experimenting with, but working with right now. I added a mixer, an audio mixer, into the workflow in the studio. The mixer is will allow us to, in the workflow, not necessarily give me better sound in the studio, but I'm using it in the studio right now to actually make sure to see how it works, to see if everything's set up and make sure it goes correctly when we're out in the field, to make sure I have everything plugged into the ports that they need to be plugged into. For example, when I plug them into certain ports on the ATEM, they are a little too hot and they give a lot of static and they're too loud. I had to figure out which ports to plug them in over here to give the sound to the ATEM so that I could get a good quality sound. And then I also played with the adjustments to see where I needed the gain and the volume and things like that. And there's a lot of other things that this thing can do, but for right now I just need to make sure I can get a good quality sound from it. It is a Behringer Euro Power PMP 4000. It is a mixer and an amplifier all in one. If you're an audiophile, you might not like that, but for what we do, this made sense. I did look at another one, but this went on sale, and it was only $100 more, and ended up doing a lot more than the one I was originally looking at. So we ended up getting this one because it allows us to provide sound in a venue if needed. Um, we also use this exact mixer, which is how I found out about it, in the dining hall in our church to provide sound in there. We don't need a full amplifier that like we use for the church, because the hall is smaller, and this does more than enough as far as the sound that we need in the hall. So that's why I got this mixer. I don't even have speakers hooked up to it because I don't need speakers hooked up to it here. I don't even have monitors. That's why I have my headphone on. I'm listening to it, and actually monitors wouldn't work very well because then I would get a feedback because they would be right beside where I'm recording. The other thing I was messing around with was I have a small convertible laptop that I can convert it from a it's plugged in right now because it's charging. I can convert it from a laptop, it's just 11-inch laptop, to a notebook, and I can run my the ATEM software on this laptop, and it allows me, and it's wireless. That wire that you saw in there, that wire is plugged in because it's charging, because I haven't charged it in a few days, and it's low on battery power. But anyway, it allows me to have more mobility to move around and control the settings while I'm if I'm in a venue, and I can move around and I don't have to be sitting at the control center for the event that I'm doing. So I'm gonna move this out of the way for now, because the other thing that we're working with is this. It is the Neewer microphone kit, and I got this Neewer microphone kit because I actually use a lot of Neewer stuff. I'm not sure if that's the exact pronunciation. Technically, I guess it's a Neewer, but Neewer sounds better, so I'm gonna say Neewer. I got this kit because Neewer microphones, and that's what you're listening to me on now. I buy a lot of Neewer gear. This is the first time I ever bought any of their microphone gears. I usually go with Ceramic equipment because I don't go with what everybody else goes with, the Rode and the Sennheisers and some of the other higher end stuff, because of the price. The Ceramic microphones, the Blink microphone system, they are more cost effective and to me sound as good as the Rode. And I've used them for a while now, and I have not had any problems with them. And I've used the older Ceramic lavalier microphones, and I haven't really had any problems with them. I think the sound is actually good. I'm not an audiophile, but I think the sound is actually, the sound quality that comes from them is very good. So I like to find cost-effective ways to do things, ways that will give me good quality at a lower price. So I like to be more cost effective, more bang for the buck, so to speak. So that's one of the reasons why I went with the Neewer microphones. This kit comes with let me actually see if I can find it online for you, 'cause I think anyway, this is the mic set that I'm using right now that you're listening to. It comes with 3 different sets of microphones. Not microphones, it has 1 set of microphones, but it has 3 capsules. One right here, one here, one here, and one here. They are, let's go back to this picture. Let's blow it up. Okay, this capsule is the Super Cardioid polar pattern. And then they have another set of capsules with the Omni directional polar pattern. And then they have one in it is the Cardioid polar pattern. Excuse me, pattern. The main body, you just screw them on and screw them off, and so it decides on what you want to do. The difference is, and I'm not an audiophile, the difference is that um, the difference is the noise rejection pattern. The omnidirectional, it picks up sound from everywhere, in front of you, to the sides, and to the back of the microphone. Not you, but the microphone. The cardioid pattern picks up what's directly in front of it. It picks up less behind, to the sides, and less in the back. The supercardioid is even more focused on what's in front, and even less on the sides and in the back. These microphones actually work pretty good. I actually ended up having to order some small stands for them. I actually ordered some small stands for them, so I have one right here, right in front of me, and then I have another one up there, and I do that because I want these are mono microphones, and I want the stereo sound, so I use both microphones, and I think they sound pretty good, and that's what I use them for. The reason I got these is because, and the reason I got that, actually, let's go back here. The reason I got the soundboard and these microphones to add to my arsenal of equipment is because I've done a couple of recent jobs where I needed to have microphones in the audience. I usually have lavaliers to wire up the talent, so to speak, the person I'm interviewing or the person that's talking. Myself, when I'm usually what I do when I'm in the studio is I usually have lavalier mics on, and for the most part, 90% of everything you've seen me do, well, I'd even say even more than that, probably anything on my channel up until now, 100% has been done with lavalier mics. Even one of my more recent videos, I think it was the last video where we did the play rehearsals, the first readings of the plays, that was done with lavalier mics. It was the Blink 5, what is it, the Blink, I'm trying to figure it out, the Ceremonic. Yeah, the Ceremonic Blink 500 Pros. The last thing I did was with the Ceremonic Blink 500 Pros. I actually set them on a table in front of the actors, and it picked up the sound fine. The quality of the sound was good. It picked up good. I didn't have to use any wires. And then I also used my other Ceremonic lavalier set, my older one, and all of these ran off of batteries. So while one play was going on, one set was charging, and then I switched back and forth as they switched out plays, and that worked very well. But at a more recent event, we were recording a seminar, and the person doing this one particular seminar, she actually, instead of just presenting her material, she started asking questions and did more of a discussion instead of a slide presentation. So it would have been nice to have microphones in the audience. This will allow me to bring in the audio from the because I have adapters that I can hook the wireless lavalier mics into this soundboard, and I can also hook these mics into the soundboard, so I can have the main speaker on the lavalier mics, the main person on the lavalier mics, and then I can actually have microphones in the audience that are wired, so that we can hear the audience better and be more effective in what we do. We could still hear the audience with the at the seminar, but it was not nearly as good as it would have been if we had a microphones there. So that's why I got the these microphones, so it would make it, and even at the play, it would have been easier to mount these on mic stands, and then having to find a table to sit up in front near the actors to set the lavalier mics on. So these are just a couple of things that we do to improve ourselves every time we find a, as one of my partners says, we adjust and adapt. So we continue to grow, adjust and adapt, so that we can provide a good product for you to watch and for our clients. So that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I like the Neewer microphones, and as you can see, actually I have this on the Ceremonic, the Blink, and you see the price of that. That's even with a discount, the Blink 500 Pro. And these, for two microphones, they're wired though, they were only $100. So this was actually a cost-effective option as well, and I think it works out really well because I've actually listened to these microphones and the sound they give. So they are more than capable for what I do, and I wouldn't necessarily, if I was a music producer, I wouldn't necessarily use these for music production. Although even in the advertisement and some of the other videos I've seen, because I use YouTube as well as on YouTube, I use YouTube to research stuff. And from some of the videos I've seen, a lot of people have tested these for recording the sound on instruments, and they say they're pretty good, they're decent. So that was one of the things that I do, or is one of the things I do. I research most of the stuff that I get before I get it, see what other people's opinions are, and then I also, after I get it, I make sure I test it in time, so if I have to send it back, I send it back. But these aren't going back because their opinions were good and my opinion is good. So this wasn't really a review, but I like these microphones. So that's just some of the things we've been up to. We've been really busy, and we haven't been on YouTube making as many YouTube videos as I would like, but I hope you continue to watch, and if you're new, I hope you subscribe. So give this video a thumbs up, a like if you liked it, and I'll see you next time.